I'm Winonah. I'm currently 3BS Health Sciences, and I'm running for the president of the Council of Organizations of the Ateneo. First of all, what do I envision COA to be? And I want to see COA to be fostering a community that embodies excellence, community building, and nation building. So I would like to focus on the word embodies, so I would not just want COA to be talking about excellence, community building, and nation building, but really acting on it, and yung council itself, embodying it, being excellent, advocating for community building, and providing avenues for nation building. So for me, I'd like to go back to the definition of what excellence, community building, and nation building is for me before I proceed to the latter part of my platform. So for me, excellence is in building and sustaining organization life within the Ateneo. And then a follow-up for that is that the way I see organization life thriving inside the Ateneo is that people want to constantly become a better, they want organizations to become a better version of itself and throughout the succeeding years. That's why they continue to sustain organizations, and that's why they continue to thrive in the Ateneo. So what excellence does is, excellence forms competent individuals who have passion for their advocacies. Community building, on the other hand, is creating, community building, on the other hand, on the context of an organization level, is creating that community of like-minded individuals who share the same advocacies and core competencies as the organization. And in the act of creating and sustaining organizations, we all want to form that community, that the community of, we'd like to form that community that shares the same core competencies and so for the next part is nation building. So what I feel nation building is that in creating and forming these competent individuals, they can be better equipped in handling any situation outside the Ateneo, and they're more equipped to build the nation through the different core competencies that was instilled in them while they were in the Ateneo. So for the second part of my platform, I'd like to create streamlined systems that would make organization life more simple. So in embodying what nation building, community building, and excellence is, this is my answer to that. And I would like to redirect the cluster efforts not towards being a project-based system, but more of a formation and a leadership system. So I'd like the cluster head and secretary treasurer to direct their efforts towards something more related to the field, towards understanding the context of their organizations, the problems of their organizations, and in that sense, bringing it out during the CB meeting so that we can better direct their questions, their concerns, and address them as a council. Then for the second part, I'd like meetings to have a more organization development centered discussions and services. So I'd like for the cluster head and secretaries to really go down to their constituencies, so their presidents, their org members and EB members, and ask them what they need, ask them what they want, and provide, and me as a president, I'd like to ask the EB and the CB to create better targeted services for the questions and the concerns that members have. So, as a clarification, I would not advocate for projects or for clusters to have projects, because I feel like currently the notion of some presidents about clusters is that in order for a cluster to be present, they have to have a certain kind of project, a certain kind of tangible output at the end of the year or during the year. I feel like yes, in a certain sense, creating projects is okay, but then if you want to create the project to advocate for what the cluster is or to celebrate what the cluster is, I guess I would like to have that buy-in from the presidents before certain projects push through. But then, what I want to really happen in the cluster is that the members and the organization members and its leaders really embody the advocacies of their cluster. Streamlining OSA and Sanggunian and COA relationships and responsibilities. So for now, what I see in COA is that the disjointedness of certain efforts. So particularly in OSA and GOA, because what I see now is that OSA and GOA, they have their own initiatives, they have their own services, but then these services are kind of redundant, and what I want to happen is to have it more streamlined, to have proper leveling off with OSA, and to understand how they want to develop org members, and maybe ask where the two bodies can meet, and how we want as GOA and as OSA to build or sustain organization life. And also, one of the tangible efforts that I want to direct my efforts to this year is to fix the project management system and the yes report system within OSA, because I feel like it is also not understood quite well why these reports and these forms are needed. But then it's also a two-way street, because I feel like to a certain extent, yes, we might not understand these, but then sometimes these forms are redundant. They make bureaucracy parang impossible or like harder to achieve or to sustain. And I want, in that sense, for the orgs to be more focused towards forming their members rather than towards accomplishing these forms, fixing these forms. Which, in that sense, parang makes us feel like we're just, in a sense, parang pleasuring OSA in terms of just filling out all these forms. So sorry. And so I want these forms, if ever they are changed and they are parang reevaluated, I want it to be better marketed to the core at the very least, so that they may understand the need for these new systems and for them to understand the need for the change in these new systems.
Thank you,
Thank you, Winonah.